On the one hand, you have the consumer who can't find anything. You have hours and hours of video being put on the web, and instead of the web being democratized with lots and lots of sites that people go to, in general, 4 sites have now come to concentrate where all the web traffic is: Google, MySpace, Facebook, Yahoo, right? Which is great, but the web is about so much more, and users are increasingly frustrated that they can't find anything. Right? On the other side, you have media companies who are looking, saying, analog dollars are turning into digital pennies. And Jeff Zucker's famous phrase. They're not able to monetize. Same eyeballs. You watch something on TV, generally you're worth $10. You watch the same thing online, you're worth 3 cents. Right? Why is there such a wide dichotomy? So today the web is not working as a business for the media companies. It's really not working for consumers to be able to find anything. What we want to do is we aspire humbly to build the digital platform of record for media companies. We've built a platform called Cisco EOS, and that platform is about being able to allow media companies to have a branded digital presence and allow them to create a participatory action around their media so that they can create new experiences and build a business around it. Okay, let me put this in English again for everybody. What we allow people to do is to simply, easily build web pages, manage content, and administer all of this in one place. One logon, access to data, the ability to build branded sites around content, and the ability to do all of this in a way which is cost effective. And so what we're trying to do is bring the assembly line process to the whole consumer experience and to the whole issue of how content gets moved around in a media company, and we can create a platform that lets them be able to try things, do things, experiment, and see what works, and then all of which around the brands and the content that they're very comfortable with. In TV land, generally you have analytics based on surveys. So you take a small sample set and you extrapolate based on that. And generally, as you point out, those are considered good, right? On the web, you have actual data around what masses of people are doing, and you go, it's bad. And it strikes me that over time, that situation is going to reverse, right? Where ultimately, we're going to see analytics as a positive. And to steal from Timothy Leary, better living through data, ultimately, right? And I think that that's something that we can do. And I also think, in general, what's happening today is when you look at what the media companies have, the analytics are even hard for them to do. We were talking to a sports league recently that has a number of teams. On their website, they have 24 separate applications running, which means the admin has 24 separate logins just to be able to get the data. Well, that's not really analytics at the end of the day. That's it's 24 separate analytics systems that don't tie to each other, right? So what I believe is that ultimately the analytics have to turn into an engine of new experiences that create value, and also a way for media companies really to understand that customer. Reduced cost is really on everyone's minds right now, given the state of the economy, given the state of the ad market, which is still in a little bit of shrinking mode. What we want to be able to do is, first of all, today most media companies, when they're trying to build community properties, are ending up spending between 75% and 150% of revenue on trying to build those sites. And that, to a technologist, we always think there's got to be a better way to do all this, right? So right now, we think that we can offer immediate cost savings to the media company to let them do more, try more, and move faster. The second thing is, and we talked about Timothy Leary and better living through data, but having data all in one place and being able to understand your customer has to raise the value of that customer. So that if we know it's me on a particular site, and we know that I happen to be a San Francisco Giants fan, we know more about what types of things we can do to advertise, and that has to make me more valuable. Plus, we can relate the content and the ad together in ways that you can't do in other mediums. So I think there's a lot of ways that we can both lower the cost curve and raise the revenue curve for media companies, and that EOS can become a core part of how media companies interact with their customers.